Duncan and Mariana. That game will take place at 2 o'clock. It looks like we're just waiting for umpires out on the field to get ready. We're getting ready for this game between South Sumter and Sebring. We're just waiting for umpires to get out on the field, and then we'll be ready to go. Welcome in, everyone, for this game between South Sumter and Sebring, our second game on the day. 17 Dixie Youth AAA Minors State Tournament here in Mariana, Florida. The winner of this game will go on to face Holmes County, who defeated West Volusia 10-0 in our first game. Sebring is the home team. South Sumter is the visiting team. We'll go through the starting lineups real quick while we wait for umpires to get on the field. Leading off for South Sumter will be number 25, Rashad Johnson, number 44, Dre Schauter, number 15, Caden Ellis, number 5, Jackson Gill, number 3, Billy Durham, number 30, George Mullins, number 9, Caleb Jenkins, number 24, Samaj Shines, number 22, Ishmael Rodriguez, number 12, Cale Scott, number 11, Jason Brashwell, number 99, Khalil Ellis. For the Sebring side, number 3, Benny Bakar, number 99, Brody Hall, number 8, Nate Aran, number 91, Cole Travers, number 00, Talton Todd, number 18, Josh Morgan, number 17, Chaz Waltman, number 26, Nelson Morales, number 9, Chase Vaughn, number 2, Jamarcus Gomez, number 7, Roman Giovanetti, and number 45, Blaine Humphrey. On the mound for each team for South Sumter, starting off on the mound will be Caden Ellis and Sebring Dalton Todd. Should be a pretty good game here between these two teams. Both teams usually bring pretty good teams to these state tournaments. They have good baseball programs in every division. So looking forward to this South Sumter-Sebring matchup. South Sumter, I've seen different divisions in both state tournaments that I've been to. I called their machine pitch state tournament out in Sebring, where they defeated the Sebring machine pitch team for the state tournament there. And then I went to East Lakeland, called Majors Division, where South Sumter won the Majors Division state tournament. They actually swept in East Lakeland, winning both Majors and T-ball out there. So been a part of 3 state tournaments for South Sumter. So we'll see if their AAA minors team can live up to the hype that their other teams have been putting forth with all these state championships. Sebring, on the other hand, looking to battle here and take this AAA minor state tournament. Again, the winner will go on to face Holmes County. The loser will fall to face West Volusia. The loser bracket game will start at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The winner's bracket game will start at 12:30. So 2 games tomorrow. Both of these teams will be playing. So if you're rooting for any of these teams, make sure you note the times so you know when to come back and watch on JockJive.com. We thank you for joining us here on JockJive.com this afternoon, nearing 12 o'clock, as we have getting ready for play here between South Sumter and Sebring. If you want to send a shout out to anyone down there on the field, the number's on your screen, 410-903-2715. That's 410-903-2715. Just tell me who you're rooting for, where you're rooting from, and who you are, so I can let the players out there know when they go back and rewatch the game that someone out there was watching them. Especially if you're outside of the state of Florida, let me know where you're watching from. We thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast, as both teams have already been announced and called in, but they're just sitting in their dugouts as we're waiting for umpires. Don't forget to like JockJive on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. We're trying to reach Facebook likes and 1,000 Twitter followers this summer, and we need your help to get there. And when you like us on Facebook, we keep you updated on scores, schedules, and so much more. So go to JockJive.com and follow the shortcut to all social media, or simply put JockJive in the search engine of Facebook or at JockJive on Twitter. Looks like the umpires have arrived, and the 2 coaches are going to come shake hands as we get ready for baseball here. South Sumter, your away team. Sebring, your home team. So South Sumter will be batting first in this matchup. Number 25, Rashad Johnson, will lead off. On the mound for Sebring will be Dalton Todd. If you were with us for our first game between Holmes County and West Volusia, I thank you for watching, and I'm glad to have you back. If you're just joining us for this game, happy to have you in as we get set for our second of 3 games today in this AAA minor state tournament. Someone will be headed to the World Series. Both of these teams have the desire to get there. Dalton Todd takes the mound for his first warm-up pitches. Starting behind the plate is number 91, Cole Travers, Dalton Todd's battery mate. We'll go around the horn real quick for Sebring. First base, Nelson Morales. Second base, Brody Hall. Shortstop, Benny Bakar. And third base, Josh Morgan. Number 25, Rashad Johnson, takes a few practice swings before he heads into the box. Every South Sumter team that I've seen so far always has plenty of fun in the dugouts. This South Sumter team is no different, as all their kids are standing up on the bench dancing to the boombox they got in the dugout. Must be a South Sumter thing to always be partying in the dugout, because it's always a good time over there. Every South Sumter team I've also seen throughout the state tournaments can definitely put some runs up on the board. I was out in East Lakeland calling a game between South Sumter and Frostproof, and their majors team actually hit 6 homers in one game. They swept through that state majors tournament for the state title, and they'll be traveling on to Alabama. So we'll see if there's some hitters at this level for South Sumter, this AAA majors division. Still some more practice pitches being thrown as we wait for the start of this game. We're a little bit behind schedule. This game was supposed to start at 11:30. It's about 11:45 right now, so we're about 15 minutes behind. But it looks like we're getting ready to start baseball here for our second game in Marianna. Still great weather for baseball, not that hot. Some of the clouds have burned off, so the players will be in more direct sunlight compared to our earlier games. But it's not too hot for these players. A lot of the fans got some shade to hang out in, so they should be fine. We got a good amount of fans on both sides for Sebring and South Sumter. We got games going on all around us here in Marianna. 4 fields in action at one time at the beginning of this tournament. And we're ready to start. The first pitch gets behind the catcher. Ball 1 to Rashad Johnson. We're playing baseball in Marianna. Strike into Johnson. 1-1 the count. Johnson hits a hard shot right up the middle. That one's batted down by Dalton Todd. Great reaction at the plate. He picks it up and throws it to first for the out. That was a great defensive play there made by Dalton Todd for the first out of the inning. Johnson goes down on the ground on a scorcher right back up the middle. And that brings up number 44, Dre Schauder. Strouder, his first plate appearance. An imposing man out of the dugout when they were standing on their line. When their lineup getting called out, he's about a head taller than everyone else. So looks-wise, seems like he swings the best bat for this South Sumter team. But you never know. Looks can be deceiving. But he's ahead. 3 balls, no strikes. Strike 1. Let's go, South Sumter. Hit the fence. Ishmael Rodriguez from your grandparents in Webster, Florida. Strike 3. Strouder has to go back to the dugout. Second out of the inning. Dalton Todd's got the first 2 down. Tell Shama shines his sister is watching. So if he goes back and watches this game, he'll know he's going to get some love on the South Sumter side. His sister watching this game. This is a soft grounder to the shortstop. Number 15, Caden Ellis, grounds out to the shortstop for Sebring. Benny Bakar, but the play was not made at first. Dropped and first base. It's hard to see. There's a tree over there, so that's going to be an error for Sebring. Kenny Ellis reaches first. This pitch then comes in on Gill and hits him. So quickly, 2 pitches, 2 base runners for South Sumter, as it looks like Sebring was going to get out of this inning. It's a good sign of sportsmanship as Sebring's Dalton Todd goes over and gives a fist pound to Gill. Make sure he's all right. Let's go, South Sumter. Woohoo! They're ready for another state tournament out there and state tournament championship. As from what I know, they at least have 3. There's some more tournaments that I haven't been to that they've won that I don't know about. It's possible, but I know they have a machine pitch, T-ball, and majors at least. Fouled back by Billy Durham. He's at the plate now with 2 on and 2 out. Sebring had a chance to get out of this inning, but a dropped ball at first base let Caden Ellis reach. Next pitch, Jackson Gill hit by pitch, so 2 on, 2 out. This one blooped into left field. That one's going to get behind everyone, roll all the way to the fence. 1 run is going to score on a double by Billy Durham. That ball was smoked by Durham, and it got all the way past everyone. South Sumter opens up the first inning with a run. Shows the importance of defense and errors, as Sebring could have been out of this inning. That stays alive. Now George Mullins has a chance with 2 on and 2 out, both in scoring position. Shout out to Rashad Johnson, number 25 from Mommy. Do your best, kid. Thank you for the early shout-outs. The shout-out number is on your screen, 410-903-2715. Make sure you send your shout-outs. Let me know who you are, who you're rooting for, and where you're rooting from. So when these kids go back and watch the games later, all of our games are archived, so they can go back and see them if they want to watch them. Swung through. Foul tip. It would have been strike 3, but Mullins makes contact with it. 5 at the plate. This inning stayed alive on an error by Sebring, and then a double by Billy Durham brought the first run across. It's 1-0 South Sumter over Sebring here in this top of the first. Count is even at 2 to George Mullins, number 30. Count is now full as the 2-2 pitch got out wide. This pitch too high, ball 4. Mullins takes his base. Base is loaded for South Sumter. That brings up number 9, Caleb Jenkins. With no place to put him. Sebring in need of an out. The South Sumter's lefty, Caleb Jenkins, comes to the plate. First pitch in there for strike 1. Score is South Sumter 1, Sebring nothing. Count is 1-1 now on Caleb Jenkins. 1-1 pitch. This one gets under the glove of the third baseman. No play is made at any base. That one got right under the glove of Josh Morgan. And the score now 2-0. South Sumter over Sebring. RBI single for Caleb Jenkins brings up Samaj Shines, number 24, another lefty for this South Sumter team. Is 2-0 already. Sebring could have been out of this inning, but an error kept it alive. And now South Sumter's taken advantage. Samaj Shines ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes after the first 2 pitches. That's ball 4. Samaj Shines takes his base, and that walks in a run. Inning slowly starting to unravel for Sebring. After an error and a few hits, this lead is already 3-0. Bases still loaded now for number 22, Ishmael Rodriguez. Shines just walked on 4 pitches. Dalton Todd is going to get a talking to from his manager, who's trying to refocus him. He picked up 2 quick outs. Looked like it was going to be a 1-2-3 inning, but Caden Ellis reaches on an error. The next batter, first pitch, Jackson Gill gets hit by a pitch. Billy Durham ropes a double. The next thing you know, it's 3-0 South Sumter. Play is going to be made at the plate. They tried to throw the ball behind number 30, George Mullins, and out leading too far off of third base. But on the throw, he scampers home. And that's going to be 4-0 South Sumter over Sebring. And Sebring's runners both advance. There's a contact made there at the plate. Looks like everyone is all right as George Mullis slid through the catcher, Cole Travers, behind the plate. 2 balls, no strikes on Rodriguez. 4-0. South Sumter's jumping out to this early lead. This one hit to center field. It's way out to center field, but camping under it is Sebring for the 3rd out. South Sumter strikes early in the 1st inning for 4 runs, all with 2 outs. As we head to the bottom of the 1st, with South Sumter leading Sebring by a score of 4-0. Leading off the bottom of the 1st will be number 3, Benny Bakar. You're watching Florida Dixie Youth Baseball AAA traditional division here on JockJive.com. When we come back with the bottom of the 1st, Sebring will get their first at-bats of the game.
Here are some things you may not know about JockJive. We're one of the nation's premier sports production companies. From audio only to full-scale video productions, we can do it all. Our list of clients is continuing to grow and includes the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Gulf South Conference, NJCAA, Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association, Alabama Community College Conference, Perfect Game, Great American Rivalries, youth sports like Dixie, American Legion, Babe Ruth, plus a litany of high schools, junior colleges, and more. We've worked I bet you recognize, like Johnny Manziel, Trent Dilfer, Doug Williams, Monty Coleman, and more. And we travel to practically every part of the country, from New York to California, Florida to Minnesota, and everywhere in between. Here's another thing you may not know. We are ready to come to work for you. That's right, we have a package to fit practically every budget. Just go to JockJive.com and contact us to get international coverage for your next sporting event. Your athletes deserve the best. They deserve JockJive.
Welcome back, everyone, for the bottom of the 1st inning. South Sumter leading over Sebring by a score of 4-0. The count is 1-1 on Benny Bakar. On the mound for South Sumter is Caden Ellis, as he looks to protect this 4-0 lead that his team built for him. It really all started when he reached base on the air in the 1st inning. Bakar down 0-2, fouls, or 1-2, fouls another one back. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. South Sumter scored 4 in that 1st inning. The RBIs coming from Durham, Jenkins, and Shines, and then a runner advanced on a throw. See if South Sumter can hold on to this lead here. Another foul by Bakar keeps the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. The winner of this game will go on to face Holmes County in our winners bracket. The loser will go on to face West Volusia tomorrow morning. Strike 3. Bakar goes down swinging for the first out. Did a good job battling there, but then just couldn't make contact with that 5th pitch. Now number 9, Brody Hall, the second baseman, comes to the plate for his first plate appearance. First pitch fouled, or actually not fouled, hit straight up, right back to the pitcher. Caden Ellis takes 2 steps over, catches it for a quick second out. That brings up Nate Aran. Or Arnon, rather. Nate Arnon, his first plate appearance. The left fielder for Sebring. Good luck, nephew. Samaj Shines, number 24. Take the trophy, South Sumter. Let's go, South Sumter Shines. Shines, number 24. We are rooting for you. South Sumter coming in clutch with the shout-out so far. The shout-out number is on your screen, 410-902-2715. We're glad you're joining us this afternoon in Marianna for this first round of this Dixie Youth AAA Majors State Tournament here. We'll play through the 19th, and then we'll crown a champion. The winner of this tournament will go on to face or to play in the World Series for this division. So important games for these young men as they look to run and play some more baseball this season. Arnon walks on 4 pitches with 2 outs. So a 2-out base runner for Sebring brings up number 91, Cole Travers. The catcher for Sebring gets his first plate appearance. He watches the first pitch for a strike. This one a short hopper to the second baseman of South Sumter. Picked up, thrown to the shortstop covering second, and that's going to end our inning. Looks like Khalil Ellis makes that play at second. And that will end the bottom of the first. Sebring fails to score. We head to the top of the second, with South Sumter leading Sebring by a score of 4-0. Shout out to Shamaz Shines, Daddy loves you. We'll leave on that shout out. When we head to the top of the second, South Sumter will come up to bat looking to add to their 4-0 lead. You're watching Dixie Youth Baseball AAA Traditional Division here on JockJive.com.
We invite your support and contributions to the Dixie Youth Scholarship Fund. Offering financial assistance to hundreds of former players was not accomplished easily. Funds for these scholarships came from many sources, including donations. We ask you to consider making a contribution and by doing so, help more graduates from Dixie Youth Leagues to continue their education. All money collected for the Scholarship Fund is given for scholarships. No funds are kept for administrative purposes. If you would be interested in knowing more about the scholarship program, contact one of the officials at this tournament. They will provide information and explain what to do. On behalf of those who have received scholarships in the past years, may we express our appreciation for your support of the scholarship program. Thanks to you, it's working.
We're back here in Marion. Dalton Todd returns to the mound for Sebring. Leading off for South Sumter will be number 22, Ishmael Rodriguez. After South Sumter plated 4 runs in that first, Sebring was unable to respond. We head to the top of the second with the score South Sumter 4, Sebring nothing. This is a rematch, like I said, of the Machine Pitch tournament, state tournament championship. I know it's not the same teams, but it's the same places where South Sumter got the best of Sebring there. Every tournament I've been to, South Sumter's been the juggernaut. So we'll see if they're the team to beat here in this division or if some other team can challenge them for the state title in the AAA division. Strike one to Cale Scott. Said Ishmael Rodriguez was leading off. That was my apologies. Actually, number 12, Cale Scott leading off for South Sumter. Rodriguez grounded out to end that first inning. This one popped up, high shot, and taking a few steps off the bag and bringing it down is Dalton Todd for the first out. That's a fly out for Scott. And that brings up number 11, Jason Brashwell. Bottom three of the order coming up for South Sumter. Cale Scott just flied out, Brashwell, and then Khalil Ellis before we turn the lineup back over to the top. Strike one on Brashwell as he swings through the first pitch. Thank you for joining us this afternoon here on JockJive.com. I'm Anthony Crum. Ball one to Brashwell. As we, every game, get a little bit closer to crowning a state tournament champion for this AAA traditional division state tournament here in Marianna, Florida. We have some other tournaments going on around us. Ozone's going on here, from the Will crown a state champion over there. And also we have division of AAA going on as well. 4 fields in action in this early Marianna play as the count is full on Brashwell. So a lot of baseball going on. As that's a walk for Brashwell. He takes his base. 1 out base runner for South Sumter. So we hope you enjoy all the JockJive coverage coming to you from Marianna. You can watch any field. Got them all covered here. 4 announcers going at one time, and eventually we'll cut down the fields a little bit, but you can stay up to date with everything going on in Marianna for these state tournaments. If you stick with us here on JockJive.com, you can like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter. We'll keep you updated on scores and schedules. Any type of delay, we'll make sure we update you on there. So make sure you follow us so you can stay updated. Number 99, Khalil Ellis, is at the plate, but he goes down swinging for strike 3. Second out of the inning, second strikeout for Sebring's Dalton Todd. Top of the order now comes up for South Sumter, Rashad Johnson, number 25. South Sumter scored all 4 runs with 2 outs in that first inning, so we'll see if they can get the 2-out rally going here or Sebring can close the door and hold them scoreless. Just missing that pitch, and it flies down the right field line. High pop-up. And it doesn't get caught down there in right field. It's going to be a double for Johnson. Thought the ball was foul, but it hooked back fair. And there's a big tree in my way that you can see on your screen, so I'm unable to see right field from where I sit. So that ball must have landed fair. And a threat now for South Sumter with 2 outs. Runners at second and third for Jay Straughter, who struck out in his first plate appearance. Sebring just trying to get out of this inning without allowing any 2-out runs. That could be difficult here with the big bat of Straughter standing in. The count is 1-1. He just swung through that last pitch for his first strike. Dalton Todd out there battling for Sebring on the mound. Strike 2. Straughter as he's underneath that one. Good timing, but just a little too low. If you want to send a shout out to anyone on the field, make sure you text it in to 410-903-2715 as Schroeder goes down swinging for the second out, or the third out of this inning. And that will end the top of the second. South Sumter fails to score after getting 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. And we will head to the bottom of the second. Sebring coming to the plate. Dalton Todd will be leading off. Come on, South Sumter, let's go. From Webster, Florida. Is a shout out that just came in to me as we head back to this second inning. Don't forget to like JockJive on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We're trying to reach 10,000 Facebook likes and 1,000 Twitter followers this summer, and we need your help to get there. When you like us on Facebook, we keep you updated on scores, schedules, game status, and so much more. So go to JockJive.com and follow the shortcut to all social media, or simply put JockJive Sports in the search engine of Facebook or at JockJive on Twitter. After today's game is over, you can watch the action again and again on JockJive.com. Go to the same spot you watch the live coverage to watch the archives. Or if you want a DVD of any game of the Florida Dixie Youth Baseball AA, AAA, Traditional Division State Tournament, email info@jockjive.com and we'll get that process started for you. Dalton Todd leading off for Sebring. His first plate appearance on the day, pitcher versus pitcher here, is Caden Ellis on the mound for South Sumter. Looks for another scoreless inning. Only 4 batters to the plate in that first inning for Sebring. This is a short chopper to second. Throw to first is there for the first out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. For South Sumter, ground out for Dalton Todd brings up the third baseman, number 18, Josh Morgan. First pitch into Morgan, another hot shot to the second baseman. The play again, throw to first, and another out. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Sebring. As Caden Ellis is working his way quickly in this inning. He's got 2 pitches and 2 outs. That brings up Chaz Waltman. The first pitch is going to be a ball, though, so not 3 pitches, 3 outs. No wishful thinking for Ellis. This pitch too high for ball 2. He's already thrown as many pitches to Waltman as it took him to get the first 2 outs. As the count is now 2-0. Pitch too low. Count is now 3 balls, no strikes. .30 pitch is there for strike 1. As Ellis responds from throwing 3 straight balls with 1 right down the middle. 3-1 pitch. Swung over top by Waltman, and the count moves to full. Caden Ellis has a chance to go 1-2-3 here in this inning if he can make 1 more good pitch. And it's fouled back by Waltman, who stays alive at the plate. Way to play, boys. Keep it hot, South Sumter. Ishmael, great teamwork. Swung through, strike 3. Waltman can't catch up to it. Second strikeout of the game for Caden Ellis, and he sets South Sebring down 1-2-3 in the second inning. We head to the top of the third. Your score, South Sumter 4, Sebring nothing. You're watching live action here of Dixie Youth Traditional Division AAA. baseball from Marianna, Florida. We're going to take a quick break and be right back for the top of the third inning. Your score, South Sumter 4, Sebring nothing.
The Sportsmanship Award is one of the most coveted awards to be won at this Dixie Youth Baseball Tournament. Sportsmanship is playing hard to win, but realizing all cannot become winners. It is being a gracious loser and even more a gracious winner. Good sportsmanship involves such matters as fair play, keen rivalry, but careful observance of the rules, courtesy, and a gentle attitude toward an opponent. To be considered for an award for sportsmanship, a team must, 1, demonstrate good conduct and positive attitude by all players and coaches, both on and off the field. Number 2, be prompt and participate in all scheduled activities throughout the tournament. 3, have fans that show good conduct and attitude toward umpires and opposing teams. And 4, be neat in appearance and dress of both team and coaches at all times. We ask all in attendance here at this Dixie Youth Tournament, join the coaches and players in making these qualifications the rule of behavior while attending these tournament games. Let's make this year a wonderful year of fun and great memories.
Welcome back, everyone, as we are ready for the top of the third inning. South Sumter coming back up to bat, holding on to this 3-0 lead. Coming in, great pitching, Caden Ellis, as he's been dealing on the mound through 2, has held Sebring scoreless. South Sumter scored 4 in the first, none in the second, but they look to get some runs here. This one hit down the left field line by Ellis. He's hustling to first. The ball wasn't hit that hard, though, just got under the glove of the Sebring's third baseman, Josh Morgan, and that's going to be a leadoff single for Ellis. Good piece of hitting there by the South Sumter pitcher to bring up Jackson Gill, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning. The start of what would be a really big inning for South Sumter, all with 2 outs. This one hit down the left field line, but foul by Gill. Leadoff base runner reaches for South Sumter. First time they've done that in this game. This one hit right back up the middle to the shortstop of Sebring, but it bounces off the glove of number 3, Benny Bakar, and everyone's gonna be safe. That's an error on the shortstop. And that's going to put runners on first and second with no outs for South Sumter. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Dalton Todd makes it through 2 innings, gives up 4 runs, strikes out 2, and is responsible for the 2 batters on base. The new pitcher is going to be number 99, Brody Hall. As he comes in and looks to slow down this South Sumter offense. His bats so far have been hot in this game, and Sebring looks to make a change to try to cool them off a little bit. We play 6 innings. So Sebring does have some time to try to make this comeback. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 4 more innings to try to plate some runs, but they definitely don't want to fall any farther behind than they already are. The other thing they have to worry about, if South Sumter is able to put another big inning together, the run rule is 10 runs after 4. So with no outs and 2 already on, there's a chance South Sumter could start knocking on that door of being up by more than 10 runs, and we're quickly approaching that 4th inning. Luckily for Sebring, they are batting in the bottom of the inning, so they will always have a chance to respond. But we'll have to see how the rest of this game plays out. 2 on, nobody out for South Sumter. Runners at first and second. On second is Caden Ellis. On first is Jackson Gill. Up to the plate, Billy Durham, who hit a double and brought in a run in his first plate appearance. The new pitcher for Sebring is number 99, Brody Hall. And the first pitch into him is a ball. This one slapped into center field by Hall. It's going to land in front of the center fielder for Sebring, and everyone's going to be safe. Bases loaded, no outs for South Sumter. As that's a single for Billy Durham. He's 2 for 2 on the day. And that brings up George Mullins, who walked in his first plate appearance. No outs, bases loaded for this South Sumter team. They already are leading Sebring by a score of 4-0. As Brody Hall now in a very difficult situation. They're going to need some good defense and some good pitching to work their way out of this one. The infield is in for Sebring. No balls, 1 strike on Mullins. Second pitch inside, ball 2. Three and 0 the count now as the third pitch was too low. No place to put him for Brody Hall. Definitely don't want to walk in a run. This one hit into center field. The ball's back, gone. Grand slam for George Mullins. He clears the bases with a shot over center field. Goodbye, baseball. South Sumter up 8-0 against Sebring. What a strike there by George Mullins. He makes great contact with that 3-0 pitch and sends it over the center field fence. Grand South Sumter, no out still in the top of the third, and they have jumped all over Sebring. The score 8-0. That's what I said every time I've seen South Sumter play baseball. They've got some big bats in their lineup. George Mullins just showed that off to you. That brings up Caleb Jenkins. Unfortunate situation there for Brody Hall. Comes in with 2 on, no out. Walk, gives up a single, and then next thing you know, there's one over the center field fence into the playground. Out there in center field, and this game looks a whole lot different as 4 runs have scored for South Sumter in the first. Now 4 come across in the third. And Sebring is in danger of already being close to the run rule here. It's 15 after 3, 10 after 4. Caleb Jenkins at the plate. He swings at the first one. Good diving play there made by the third baseman, but it goes off of his glove. Josh Morgan hits it down, but that's going to be an infield single for Caleb Jenkins. And he's on first with a no-out single after the grand slam by George Mullins clears the bases. This one gets behind the catcher. Athletic play there by Shamaz Shines to stay out of the way of the ball. The runner moves up to second base. Caleb Jenkins does so. Runner at second with no out. Shines. Swing. That pitch hits to the shortstop. Going to be a close play at first. Safe at first. Runner moves to third. Ball gets away. He's headed home. And another run for South Sumter. The score now 9-0. South Sumter leading over Sebring. I think the runner was safe at first, but I don't see him over there. I saw a safe call. but the score is 9-0. South Sumter over Sebring. Way to bring it home, George. Way to go, George, from South Sumter. Proud of you. From cousin Bricka. George Mullins, number 30, the one that hit that grand slam for South Sumter. So now 2 outs in this inning after the flyout from Rodriguez, the good second baseman for South Sumter. That brings up number 12. Oh no, number 25, Rashad Johnson. His second plate appearance on the day, but he fouls it up, and it's caught behind home plate, and that's going to end our inning. Pop out for Johnson. So that's going to end the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third inning. South Sumter leading Sebring by a score of 9-0. A lot happened in a really short time there. I had to get my book straight. But we head to the bottom of the third. South Sumter up 9-0. Returning to the mound for South Sumter is Caden Ellis now sees a 9-run lead on the board, but still wants to hold this Sebring team down as they want to keep the run rule in play. Sebring trying to put some runs on the board and trying to make this one a game again. Shout out to the whole South Sumter squad. They're all playing well right now. They have the 9-0 lead over Sebring. If you want your very own DVD of any game broadcast during this year's Florida Dixie Youth Baseball AAA Traditional Division State Tournament, simply email info@jockjive.com and I'll get that process started for you. DVDs are $10 per game, plus shipping and handling. It's info@jockjive.com. Leading off for Sebring will be number 26, Nelson Morales. 5 batters still need to come to bat for Sebring before we can turn the lineup over. They have yet to record a hit today. They've only had 1 base runner, and that was via a walk. And that was Nate Arnon, who reached base. First pitch into Morales, a ball. Ball, no strikes. We're in the third inning. Sebring needs to get the bats going as they're trailing 9-0. This is a dribbler out to the shortstop. Going to be a close play at first. Safe. The throw brings Straughter off the bag. And Sebring gets the leadoff single. It's a good piece of hitting there by Morales and shows the speed down first base to get a leadoff base runner. That brings up number 9, Chase Vaughn. Sebring's got to use this inning and their leadoff base runner to try to put something together here. Strike 1 on Vaughn. One more game later today in this bracket, as this one's hit into right field. That one's going to get down. 2 straight hits for Sebring, and they're in business. Runners at first and second, no out. The bottom of the lineup coming through. Bring up number 2, Jamarcus Gomez. Our game later today will be Spring Hill American and Mariana at 2 o'clock, so we hope you join us for that one. Well, now Sebring starting to get the hang of Caden Ellis, and we'll see if they can answer him right here. This one gets behind the catcher, Caleb Jenkins. Both runners advance. Sebring's got 2 in scoring position now in the bottom of the third with no outs. A big inning here could help them back into this game, South Sumter is going to have a meeting on the mound with their pitcher. Try to calm him down. South Sumter scored 4 runs in the first, 5 runs in the third. In the first inning, they scored all those runs with 2 outs. After Kalen Ellis reached on an error, the whole inning got away from Sebring. In the third, there was a grand slam by George Mullins, and then later one more run came around to score, and that's how they got their 5 runs. Bunt attempt, squeeze bunt by Sebring's number 2, Gomez. He gets thrown out at first base. No, he's safe at first base. And the run comes in to score from third, moving the runner from second to third. So runners at the corners now for Sebring. Still no outs, and they've scored a run. The score now 9-1. Gomez reaches on the bunt. That brings up number 7, Roman Veniti. As Gomez takes second base on the steal. So back to 2 in scoring position with no outs. Sebring looking to respond to that 5-run third inning by South Sumter. Roman Giovanetti. Gio Venete at the plate. He's ahead 0-1. Fouls 1 back, strike 1. Keep sending in your shout-outs. 410-903-2715 is your shout-out number. So I can read them on the air, so when these players go back and watch the game later, they'll know that you were watching. Pop up to the second base, Sumter. Ranging over to make that play is Ishmael Rodriguez. We've seen him record many outs already today, and there's another one, fly out for Giovanetti. And it keeps the runners where they are for the first out of this inning. Big play there for South Sumter to get an out without giving up a run. That brings up number 45, Blaine Humphreys. Humphrey, his first plate appearance on the day. He's the last batter in this Sebring lineup before we turn the lineup over. Benny Bakar stands on deck. This one gets to the backstop, but no one's able to advance for Sebring. High pitch into Humphrey for a ball. Them Rodriguez boys are hot. Yeah, making a bunch of plays out there on defense is Ishmael Rodriguez. Keep pushing South Sumter from hashtag Team Kane. Strike into Humphrey. Shout out to South Sumter team. I hope you all win. Ball too low, and that's a walk. Bases loaded for Sebring. 1 out, bottom of the third as they look to respond. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Caden Ellis will be leaving the mound. And the new pitcher will be number 25, Rashad Johnson, who inherits a bases-loaded jam for South Sumter. It may come as a surprise to you how affordable it is to have JockJive Sports provide coverage of your sporting event or sports team with quality streaming, offering a national and international platform to show off your school or sport. We produce everything from youth sports to NCAA Division I, literally in every part of the country. Large productions are small, tiny venues are huge. We can and have done it all. To put JockJive Sports to work for you, email info@jockjive.com. So we'll see with the new pitcher and the top of the lineup coming up for Sebring if they can do some damage here in the bottom of the third with 1 out, trailing South Sumter by a score of 9-1, but a big inning here could put them right back in it. As South Sumter looked to be threatening to run rule Sebring early in this one, but a few runs here could keep the Sebring hopes alive. Benny Bakar steps to the plate for his second plate appearance. He struck out to lead off the first inning. So that was against Caden Ellis, now facing Rashad Johnson. This one gets behind the pitcher, play at the plate, safe. Sebring scores a run on the pass ball, and they are now ahead, or catch up a little bit. 9-2 our score now. South Sumter still leading. First pitch just got away from Johnson on a ball on to Bakar. Scoring from third was Chase Vaughn. On third now is Jamarcus Gomez. On second is Humphrey, but this one hit into center field. It gets down. 2 runs are going to score from Sebring, and that's a single for Bakar, and then he advances to second on the throw. Sebring responds with a big inning of their own. 4 runs already across in this third inning. After 5 runs by South Sumter in the third, they look to run away with this one. 4 have come across for Sebring. We still only have 1 out in the bottom of the third. Sebring looking for more. This one gets behind the plate, taking off for third base is Bakar, and he's in there safely with no throw. Johnson just struggling to find the strike zone since entering this game for South Sumter. Next pitch coming into Brody Hall. Two on the count. This one over the head of Brody Hall, and he's going to take his base. That's a walk, and the ball gets behind the catcher. Bakar scores from third. And during the play at the plate, Brody Hall was able to take second to keep the threat alive for Sebring. That's a walk and an advance on the throw for Brody Hall. Sebring has already plated 5 runs in this bottom of the third. South Sumter is reeling out on defense. This is the big inning that Sebring needed to stay alive in this game. Nate Arnon now comes at the plate. He walked in his first plate appearance and watches the first pitch for a ball. Next pitch bounces to the plate, ball 2. Ball 3 of our 2 on. This one inside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk on Arnon. Puts runners on first and second, and we're going to have another meeting on the mound for South Sumter. And another pitching change. The ball has now been tossed to South Sumter's number 5, Jackson Gill. Gill will come in to try to slow down the Sebring bats. As Rashad Johnson doesn't even record an out for South Sumter. And now Jackson Gill is going to have to come in and try to calm down the hit parade that Sebring's been putting together. 4 straight runners have reached base. For Sebring, they've plated 5 in this inning. After South Sumter plated 5 in the top of the inning, the score is now South Sumter 9, Sebring 5. But it feels like the momentum is shifting in this game. Runners at first and second. 1 out, bottom third at the plate. Number 91, Cole Travers. Strike 1. Good first pitch there by Gill to find the strike zone early. Strike 2 on Travers. Quickly behind 0-2 is the Sebring catcher. That one outside gets behind the catcher for South Sumter. And both runners advance, 2 in scoring position now for Sebring. As that one got behind South Sumter's Caleb Jenkins. 0-2 pitch. Hit right to the shortstop of South Sumter, but it goes right through his legs, and it rolls to the outfield. 2 are going to score from Sebring, and in safely at second is Travers. That one right through the legs of Caden Ellis playing second. Just a mental error there, you know. It's got to be hard for the kid that he got taken off the mound earlier in this one after he had the 9-0 lead, then tries to make a play at shortstop and just can't make it. Sebring now only down by 2 runs. Travers reaches on the air, stands in scoring position again. Dalton Todd now at the plate. Number 00 started on the mound for Sebring. As Sebring comes roaring back versus South Sumter, the score now 9-7. All 7 runs for Sebring have come in this inning. Still only 1 out. This one's too far outside for another ball. As Jackson Gill now struggling to get an out. Next pitch coming into Dalton Todd. Too far outside, ball 4. Todd takes his base. Runners at first and second now for Sebring. Number 18, third base, Josh Morgan. He is the go-ahead run. If you could imagine that Sebring would bring the go-ahead run to the plate in the bottom of the third. When this inning started, it was 9-0 South Sumter. as the tying run is on base for Sebring now, standing at first base. We're in the bottom of the third. We play 6. Sebring was in threat of being run ruled after a grand slam in the top of the third for South Sumter. This one, a little flare, gets over the head of the shortstop, Caden Ellis, and that's going to be a single for Josh Morgan, who's now 1 for 2 on the day. Bases loaded up for Sebring. Number 17, Chaz Waltman, comes to the plate as Sebring is one batter away from batting around in this inning. Nelson Morales led off this inning with a single. Unless a double play happens here with this batter, Sebring will bat around in this inning. Nelson Morales ahead in the count, 2-0. Tying run stands on second. Go-ahead run stands on first. This one hit hard by Sebring. It's over the head of the shortstop. It rolls in the outfield, almost makes it to the fence to score. And we have a tie game in Marianna. Sebring comes all the way back from down 9 runs to tie the score in the bottom of the third with just 1 out. Great piece of hitting there by Chaz Waltman, who gets a double and 2 RBIs. And Sebring bats around in the third inning, only picking up 1 out so far, and they've scored 9 runs. The go-ahead run on third base is Josh Morgan, and they don't look done yet. We have another meeting on the mound in this inning as South Sumter reeling in this bottom of the third. Gill is going to remain on the mound for South Sumter, but these Sebring fans loving what they see in here in Marianna. Trailing 9-0, they've come all the way back in the bottom of the third. They've tied the game, now looking to take the lead with Nelson Morales getting his second at-bat of this inning. 1 for 1 on the day. Strike 1. Just the inning that Sebring needed to stay alive in this one. They've done more than stay alive. They've almost come back to take the lead. Strike 2 on Morales. If you're Sebring, you feel like you need to take the lead in this inning. Just tying it up doesn't feel good enough. You need to come all the way back. This one gets away from the catcher. They have a chance to take the lead right here. Play at the plate. Safe. Sebring scores 10 in an inning, and they take the lead. In the bottom of the third, 10-9. The runner from second advances to third. That was Josh Morgan coming home on that ball outside to Morales as it got away from the catcher. The count is 1-2 on him. Sebring has plated 10 runs in this third inning. Fouled back by Morales. As South Sumter is going to have to figure something out on defense. They still only have 1 out in this third inning. Sebring has plated 10 runs. Close pitch there. Strike 3. As Morales heads back to the dugout second out of this inning, he goes down. That brings up Chase Vaughn. First pitch was too high for a ball. Extended inning for the Sebring offense as they've batted around and brought 10 home. And they've taken the lead in the bottom of the third, 10-9 over South Sumter. Got go South Sumter from Tampa. This one fouled back. Everyone watch your head. Lands harmlessly on the pavement for a strike on the Sebring catcher, Vaughn. Actually, the Sebring center fielder, Chase Vaughn. Too far outside the pitch in from Guess, or Gill, rather. This one golfed out by Vaughn, but it's going to head foul for another strike. But he's staying alive at the plate now, battling with 2 outs in the bottom of the third and a runner on third. Sebring now looking for an insurance runs as they've taken the 1-run lead in this inning. And that's a walk for Vaughn. That brings the top of the lineup back up again. Runners at the corners for Benny Bakar. Go South Sumter. Still a lot of people believe in this team. They've played at 9 runs in this game, so they're definitely not out of it. They've just had a bad inning on defense. As Sebring has plated 10 runs already in the third. As we have a timeout on the field. We have a disgruntled umpire about a disgruntled parent. We'll have to go get that sorted out. But we'll get that all situated. And then get ready to keep playing some more baseball. It looks like they're getting the fan out of there from behind home plate. She's just causing a disturbance. And the home plate umpire doesn't like him arguing all of his calls, so they're going to ask him to not be behind home plate anymore. So that's what our stoppage is about. You wouldn't want anyone commenting on everything that you do all the time. I know it would annoy me, so as a home plate umpire, he's got the right to not let that parent harp him on every single call. He must not be happy about these 10 runs that Sebring has put up on his South Sumter team. But we're ready to here. Runners at the corners for Sebring. 10-9. They scored 10 runs here in the bottom of the third. They're threatening for more with 2 runners on base at the corners for the top of the order. Benny Bakar. As scampering to second is Chase Vaughn. So now 2 in scoring position again for Sebring. South Sumter needs 1 more out to end what's been a disastrous inning. This one hit back up the middle. This one's back and deep, but it's not going to make it over the fence. Bakar gives it a ride, but it doesn't go far enough. Fly out for Bakar. Ends what is a great inning for Sebring. We head to the top of the fourth. This game has just turned on its head in the bottom of the third. Sebring scores 10 runs in just the third inning alone. And our score is now Sebring 10, South Sumter 9. We head to the top of the fourth with South Sumter coming up to bat next. You're watching Dixie Youth Baseball AAA here on JockJive.com.
Here are some things you may not know about JockJive. We're one of the nation's premier sports production companies. From audio only to full-scale video productions, we can do it all. Our list of clients is continuing to grow and includes the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Gulf South Conference, NJCAA, Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association, Alabama Community College Conference, Perfect Game, Great American Rivalries, youth sports like Dixie, American Legion, Babe Ruth, plus a litany of high schools, junior colleges, and more. We've worked with names I bet you recognize, like Johnny Manziel, Trent Dilfer, Doug Williams, Monty Coleman, and more. And we travel to practically every part of the country, from New York to California, Florida to Minnesota, and everywhere in between. Here's another thing you may not know. We are ready to come to work for you. That's right, we have a package to fit practically every budget. Just go to JockJive.com and contact us to get international coverage for your next sporting event. Your athletes deserve the best. They deserve JockJive.
Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the fourth and a whole new ball game here in Marietta. As South Sumter had the 9-0 lead headed into the bottom of the third, but as you can see on your score, the score is now 10-9 Sebring over South Sumter. South Sumter scored 4 in the first, 5 in the third. Sebring scored 10 runs in the third. And we have a whole new game between these two teams. South Sumter now has to respond in the top of the fourth and try to now make a comeback in a game that they probably felt they had in hand easily. Leading off for this South Sumter team will be number 44, Jay Strouder. Feels like a long time ago, but in that last inning, George Mullins hit a grand slam for South Sumter. Made the score 8-0. You thought, oh no, Sebring, it's going to be another tough night, tough day for you against a really good South Sumter team. But then all of a sudden, the Sebring bats came alive. And now they lead 10-9. So can South Sumter respond here in the top of the fourth? Jay Strouder at the plate. Fouls one back. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Foul tip. At the plate is Strouder. Still on the mound for Sebring is Brody Hall. He replaced Dalton Todd. He actually gave up that grand slam, but now on the mound with a lead. Probably didn't expect that coming out of the last third inning. It's really a miraculous inning for Sebring to get back into this one. Strike 3. Strouder swings through another pitch to lead off the fourth inning with a swinging strikeout, his third strikeout of the day. First out of this fourth inning. That brings up Caden Ellis. Every time Caden Ellis has come to the plate, he's started a big inning for South Sumter. He started it in the first and then started it in the third. But he hits a hot shot down the first base line. This is a great snag made out there by the first baseman of Sebring. I think that was 26, Nelson Morales, who caught a screamer off Ellis's bat for a line out. For 2 outs in the top of the fourth now. As South Sumter's now down to just 7 outs. And they still have to contain what's now a hot hitting Sebring team. as Gill flies out to the second baseman. 3 up, 3 down for South Sumter. They don't score anything in the fourth. And we head to the bottom of the fourth. Sebring coming back up to bat, looking to add to their 10-9 lead. Leading off the bottom of the fourth will be Brody Hall, number 99, who just pitched 1, 2, 3 inning for Sebring. When we come back with the bottom of the fourth, Sebring will be up to bat. They're leading 10-9.
The Sportsmanship Award is one of the most coveted awards to be won at this Dixie Youth Baseball Tournament. Sportsmanship is playing hard to win, but realizing all cannot become winners. It is being a gracious loser and even more a gracious winner. Good sportsmanship involves such matters as fair play, keen rivalry, but careful observance of the rules, courtesy, and a generous attitude toward an opponent. To be considered for an award for sportsmanship, a team must, 1, demonstrate good conduct and positive attitude by all players and coaches, both on and off the field. Number 2, be prompt and participate in all scheduled activities throughout the tournament. 3, have fans that show good conduct and attitude toward umpires and opposing teams. And 4, be neat in appearance and dress of both team and coaches at all times. We ask attendants here at this Dixie Youth Tournament join the coaches and players in making these qualifications the rule of behavior while attending these tournament games. Let's make this year a wonderful year of fun and great memories.
And we're back here in Marianna. Sebring comes to the plate, trying to add on to their lead. First 2 pitches into Brody Hall. One's a ball and one's a strike, so the count is even at 1. Still on the mound for South Sumter is Jackson Gill. This one slapped right back up the middle by Hall. Throw over to first for the ground out. First down of the bottom of the fourth for Sebring. 3 pitchers were used by South Sumter in that third inning. Caden Ellis started it off, got in trouble. They brought up Rashad Johnson. He didn't even pick up an out, so Jackson Gill came in, and by the time it was all done, Sebring had scored 10 runs and taken the 10-9 lead. Nate Arnon now batting. He hits one sharply down the third base line, just foul. Almost bounced it over the third base bag, but skipped too far to the left. As Gill stands at the plate. Watches the pitch in there for a strike. Got 2 strikes on him now, does Arnon. Gill looking for a strikeout, and he gets it. Strike 3. Second out of the bottom of the fourth as the teams try to trade back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings. That brings up Cole Travers. Grounded out, reached on an air. So he's 0 for 2 on the day. This one hit by Travers foul. This one too far outside for a ball. This game started around 11:45, so we've been playing over an hour here. Had a really long third inning, which definitely prolonged this game. 15 runs in total scored in that third inning alone. 5 by South Sumter, 10 by Sebring. We're now in the bottom of the fourth, 2 outs. Ball outside. That's the third ball on Travers. This one hit down the right field line, but I think it's going to go foul. Can't really see it. But he is going to walk back to the plate. Looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Jackson Gill. As South Sumter is going to have a meeting on the mound in the middle of the at-bat with Cole Travers. And the new pitcher looks like it's going to be number 12, Cale Scott. After 40 pitches were thrown by Jackson Gill. Both these teams in their opening game. One of the most important things that you can do in a double elimination tournament is win on day 1 and day 2. Having the 2-0 record is definitely a big advantage, so you can only get that if you win your first 2 games. So both these teams trying to do that here. South Sumter looked like they were going to take it easy. They had a 9-0 lead headed into the bottom of the third. Sebring responds with 10 runs in the bottom of the third. 3 up, 3 down goes South Sumter in the top of the fourth. Now 2 quick outs in the bottom of the fourth, but Cole Travers battling at the plate. But they don't allow Jackson Gill to finish out the at-bat. Cale Scott going to come in. Finish the at-bat against Travers, Sebring's catcher. As these last 2 innings look like they're going to decide it here in Marietta. We have one more game after this. 2 o'clock start between Spring Hill American and Marietta. The host team will get their chance to play their first game here in this AAA minor state tournament. First pitch in from Scott outside, and Travers is going to take his base with the walk. 2-out base runner for Sebring. Brings up 0-0, Dalton Todd. He started on the mound for Sebring. First pitch too low, ball 1 to Todd. South Sumter just needs one more out to get us to the 5th. Sebring trying to add to their lead. This one slapped up, back up the middle by Todd. Throw over to first is there for the 3rd out. We head to the top of the 5th. Sebring leading South Sumter by a score of 10-9. We got 2 more innings to decide this one. South Sumter's got 6 more outs to score a run, or this one will be over. Your score, Sebring 10, South Sumter 9. You are watching Dixie Youth AAA Division State Tournament here from Marietta, Florida on JockJive.com. We'll be right back with the 5th inning.
Here are some things you may not know about JockJive. We're one of the nation's premier sports production companies. From audio only to full-scale video productions, we can do it all. Our list of clients is continuing to grow and includes the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Gulf South Conference, NJCAA, Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association, Alabama Community College Conference, Perfect Game, Great American Rivalries, youth sports like Dixie, American Legion, Babe Ruth, plus a litany of high schools, junior colleges, and more. We've worked with names I bet you recognize, like Johnny Manziel, Trent Dilfer, Doug Williams, Monty Coleman, and more. And we travel to practically every part of the country, from New York to California, Florida to Minnesota, and everywhere in between. Here's another thing you may not know. We are ready to come to work for you. That's right, we have a package to fit practically every budget. Just go to JockJive.com and contact us to get international coverage for your next sporting event. Your athletes deserve the best. They deserve JockJive.
Welcome back to Marianna as we have 2 innings to decide this first round game between Sebring and South Sumter. We knew it was going to be a dandy from the beginning, but we didn't know it was going to be this good. This one hit down the right field line by South Sumter's number 3, Billy Durham, and he pumps in for second, and he's headed for 3. Stand-up triple to begin the top of the 5th for Billy Durham. Gets South Sumter quickly right back into scoring position. Hit that one right down the first base line, and it landed in for a triple, rolled all the way to the fence, Billy Durham. Good piece of hitting there. That brings up number 30, George Mullins, who hit the shot to center field in the 3rd inning. The home run grand slam. I played it 4 for South Sumter. That's when you thought South Sumter had this one. But then Sebring responded with 10 runs in the 3rd, and this game just got turned on its head. But South Sumter looking to respond here with a leadoff triple. Brody Hall still on the mound for this Sebring team. Too far outside for a ball on Mullins. George Mullins for 1 on the day with the walk and the grand slam. He chops this one to second base. They look the runner off at 3rd. They throw to 1st, and they pick up the out. Good defense there by Sebring to not let that runner from 3rd come home and to get the out at 1st. Ground out for Mullins brings up Caleb Jenkins, who's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. First pitch was a ball. This one grounded in front of the plate, throw to 1st. Ball gets away, goes into center field. South Sumter is going to tie it up. A defensive error by Sebring let South Sumter tie this game and get another runner in scoring position. It didn't even look like South Sumter was sending the runner from 3rd on that bunt. But then when that ball got away, scampering from 3rd base was Billy Durham. So now tie game here in the top of the 5th. Runner on second base for South Sumter, Samaj Shines at the plate. Shines hits one to the first baseman. It gets away from him. Nelson Morales unable to corral it. And runners at the corners now for South Sumter, who looks to put a big inning together. That's another error on Sebring that lets Shines reach base. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Ishmael Rodriguez, the second baseman for South Sumter, number 22. He's 0 for 2 on the day with the ground out and the fly out. He tries to lay down the bunt but doesn't handle it for a strike. Taking second base is Shines, 2 in scoring position for South Sumter. This one in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, but not far enough for anyone to advance. Two balls, 1 strike on Rodriguez. That pitch too far outside, another ball. Sebring is in danger of loading the bases up in the top of the 5th with only 1 out. South Sumter trying to do it. Ball 4. Bases loaded for South Sumter in the top of the 5th with only 1 out. And the top of the lineup coming to the plate. Number 25, Rashad Johnson. He is 1 for 3 on the day. Doubled in the second, grounded out in the first, popped out in the third. First pitch too low, ball 1. Big inning for both teams here as South Sumter looks to take a commanding lead. Sebring trying to hold them. Ball 2. First pitch was too low, pitch was outside. 0-2 the count. Ball 3. Nope, called a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike on Johnson as Brody Hall looks to work out of this bases loaded jam. That one bounces to the plate, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike on Johnson. If he walks, a run comes home. And South Sumter would take the lead. Go ahead run on third base. This is a foul down the first base line. That was close to getting into the corner again. I could have cleared the bases. Let's go Samaj. Ball 4, South Sumter takes the lead as the shout-out came in for Samaj right as that walk came around. Samaj out there on the base pass for South Sumter right now as he reached on an error in his at-bat. That brings up Jay Strouder. This one gets away from the catcher, but everyone's going to have to go back. This is Strouder's third plate appearance. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And he comes to the plate with the bases loaded, 1 out, his team leading by 1 run. Pitch is in there for a strike. South Sumter 11, Sebring 10. Ball outside. 2-1. Ball 3 on Strouder. As Brody Hall might walk in another run. Ball 4. 2 straight walks in 2 straight runs. South Sumter now leading Sebring by a score of 12-10. Caden Ellis now comes to the plate. As we're going to have a pitching change for Sebring, I believe. There's a meeting on the mound, and the ball is now in the hands of Josh Morgan. the third baseman, number 18. I believe I'll have to wait to see if he throws a pitch. I believe it's 18, Josh Morgan, taking over on the mound with the bases loaded. 1 out, top of the 5th. In a stressful time for Sebring. They've done so much to come back in this game. They don't want to lose it here in the 5th, as they now just have 6 outs to make this comeback. They'll have the bottom of the 5th and the bottom of the 6th if they can't. We've had a dandy of a game here between South Sumter and Hill. Oh, not Spring Hill. Spring Hill's our next name. South Sumter and Sebring. Too many S's going on right now. Got South Sumter and Sebring. South Sumter played at 4 in the first, 5 in the third. So far, 3 have come across in this inning. Sebring played it none in the first, none in the second, 10 in the third, and none in the fourth. They came storming back in that third inning, blading 10 runs. Our game after this is scheduled for a 2 o'clock start. Might have to get pushed back a little bit due to this elongated game. That's going to be Spring Hill American and Mariana. It'll be our last game of the day for this part of the bracket, the 2017 Dixie Youth AAA Minor State Tournament. The winner of this game goes on to face Holmes County, who defeated West Volusia by a score of 10-0. The loser of this game goes on to face West Volusia, who fell in that first game. The loser will play at 10 a.m. in that game against West Volusia. The winner will play at 12:30 against Holmes County. Caden Ellis now at the plate. He fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Ellis reached on an error in the first, singled in the third, and lined out in the fourth. The new pitcher for Sebring is Josh Morgan. 1-1 the count on Ellis. 1-1 pitch fouled back by Ellis for strike 2. Tighten up, South Sumter. Let's take this win. This game, South Sumter just taking the lead here in the top of the 5th. They've scored 3. They were down 10-9 coming into this inning, but now it's 12-10 and they have the lead. Bases low. 1 out as they threaten for more. Count even at 2 to Ellis. Beautiful weather here in Mariana for baseball. This one hit hard by Ellis, but it goes down the right field line foul. .89 degrees and only a 15% chance of rain as this one's hit down the right field line. And it does get down. 1 run is going to score for South Sumter. RBI single for Caden Ellis. Makes the score. South Sumter 13. Sebring 10. Can't see down that right field line, so I don't know where that ball really landed, but it did land in for the single because Caden Ellis is standing on first, so the bases stay loaded for South Sumter. Yep, so it's around 1:30 here, so probably about as hot as we're going to get. 88, 89 degrees, 5-mile-per-hour wind, so a very pleasant day here in Mariana. This one hit by Jackson Gill out to right field. Comes around to score. 2 runs come around to score. And on the throw, Ellis moves up to third, and Gill moves to second. 2 runs come in. 15-0, South Sumter leads. 2 RBI single for Gill, and they have batted around here in the top of the 5th, plating 6 runs already, as Billy Durham led off this inning with a triple, and he comes back up to bat here. In this top of the 5th inning with 2 in scoring position still. Stands on third. Jackson Gill stands on second base. 1 out, top of the 3rd. This is much like the Sebring 3rd inning, where just unable to get any outs, and the team bats around, only picking up 1 out. Count is 2-2 on Durham. This one blooped over to the left side of the infield and grabbed there by Sebring's 3rd baseman, and then fired straight to second. Then they doubled him up. The runner on second base for South Sumter, Jackson Gill, just a little too far off the base. The little blooper to Sebring's 3rd baseman was caught. He fired to second, covering second base was Brody Hall, and that doubles up South Sumter, trying to get the card in order here to fly out for Durham. And that double play really puts a hamper on what could have been an even bigger inning for this South Sumter team. They played 6 runs in the 5th, and they hold the 15-10 lead over Sebring as we head to the bottom of the 5th. And the way this game is going so far, I feel like we're going to definitely have some more fireworks. As the 5th inning is coming around, and leading off the inning for Sebring will be Josh Morgan. On the mound for South Sumter, looks like it's still Cale Scott out there on the mound. Yep, Cale Scott returns to the mound for this South Sumter team. Coming up in July on JockJive.com, Florida and Alabama Dixie Youth World Series events, Dixie Baseball, state tournaments, and World Series, and so much more. Plus this fall, SWAC football, soccer, volleyball, Tuskegee football, Georgia military, college football, the Great American Rivalries, high school football, the ACCC Game of the Week, and much more. A litany of reasons you need to come back to JockJive.com often. We are ready for the bottom of the 5th. Sebring looks to respond to the 6 runs plated in the top of the 5th by South Sumter. South Sumter now holds the 5-run lead. And that leadoff fly out for Josh Morgan will not help. 1 pitch, 1 out for South Sumter. That's a fly out for Josh Morgan. And brings up Chaz Waltman. Waltman 1 for 2 on the day with the strikeout and the double that brought in 2 RBIs. First pitch coming into Waltman. He watches it too far inside for a ball. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Scott. Sebring down to their last 5 outs. Strike 1 on Waltman as he swings through the high pitch. Competitive game between South Sumter and Sebring going on here. Winner will go on to face Holmes County loser West Volusia. yards. That's a strike on Waltman. He's down 1-2. All of Sebring's runs in the third inning when they played at 10. Other than that, they have not scored. Strike 3. Waltman goes down swinging for the second out. Sebring only brought 4 batters to the plate in the fourth, and they're in danger of going down 1-2-3 here in the fifth. Nelson Morales comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. He chops the first pitch. That one's going to make it into right field, and he's going to be on first with the single. The ball gets away from the first baseman, and he's going to scamper to second on the throwing error. That's a single and an advance on the air for Morales. And that puts Sebring in business here in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs, with 4 outs to try to make this 5-run comeback. Stealing third base is Morales, as he's now one bag away from getting Sebring within 1 swing of a bat and 4 runs. I've already seen 1 grand slam in this game. It was from the South Sumter side of things. It was a grand slam hit by George Mullins. At the plate, Chase Vaughn, 1 for 1 on the day with a single and a walk. He hits one right back up the middle. Great stop. Oh, no, it got into center field. I thought it was stopped there by South Sumter's second baseman. But now they've got Vaughn called in a rundown. The run will count no matter if this out is made or not. And we'll see what the call is. Safe. Vaughn gets back safely to first with the RBI single. And now headed to second again. But the home plate umpire is going to send him back. Vaughn really wanted second base there, apparently. So he tried multiple times to take it. But the third or fourth time, the second place umpire send him back. The run comes around to score on the RBI single by Vaughn. 15-11 our score now. As we have some conversation going on between South Sumter's coach and the home plate umpire about Vaughn being safe at first base, most likely. As the South Sumter coach is now going to walk out and talk to the second base umpire, who's the one that made the call. That out would end the inning. So that's why it's such a big deal to this South Sumter team, as he does not want Sebring to plate any more runs. They've already plated 1 in this inning. Now they're only down 4. So the inning stays alive for Sebring. As taking off for second is Vaughn, and he reaches with no throw. Vaughn finally able to stand on second base, somewhere he's been trying to be for the past 5 minutes. Benny Bakar up to bat in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. He hits a scorcher right back up the middle. We'll see if they send Vaughn from third or not, but Bakar is going to move to second on the throw. That's a single for Bakar. And don't blink now, but Sebring has 2 in scoring position in the bottom of the fifth, only trailing by 4 runs. This brings up Brody Hall, as Cale Scott needs just 1 more out to get South Sumter out of this inning. This is a soft blooper right back up the middle. The throw to first, and they get Brody Hall out at first base. Sebring unable to capitalize on the 2 runners in scoring position we head to the decisive 6th inning. South Sumter leading Sebring 15-11. Leading off for South Sumter in the top of the 6th is going to be George Mullins, the home run hitter from back in the 3rd. When we come back, the top of the 6th inning will be played. The last inning in this game, South Sumter leading 15-11 over Sebring. You're watching Dixie Youth Baseball AAA Traditional Division here on JockJive.com.
Did you know a child may start in the Dixie program at or below age 6 and continue through age 19? Yes, there's an opportunity for youth 6 through 19 to enjoy baseball in Dixie. Dixie Youth, Dixie Boys, Dixie Majors. If your league is not a part of these baseball programs, contact a Dixie official for information and bring your child up in Dixie.
Welcome back, everyone. To the top of the 6th, we have a shout-out coming in. Come on, South Sumter, you have Grandma nervous. That's not good. Need some more runs here for South Sumter so we can calm Grandma's nerves. And this is their last inning to do it. 6th and decisive inning in this one, unless it's a tie at the end of this inning. George Mullins, the grand slam hitter from back in the 3rd inning, comes to the plate to lead off the 6th inning. South Sumter has the 4-run lead, and that's a 1-pitch pop-out from Mullins to the shortstop for the first out of the inning. Returning to the mound for Sebring is Josh Morgan, who started the game at 3rd base. Up now is Caleb Jenkins, the catcher for South Sumter. He singled in the 1st and the 3rd, reached on an error in the 5th. South Sumter plated 4 in the 1st, 5 in the 3rd, 6th in the 5th. Sebring plated 10 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. And our score stands at 15-11. This is a soft grounder to the shortstop of Sebring. Ball gets away from the first baseman single for Jenkins. A 1-out base runner for South Sumter, and Samaj Shines comes to the plate. He walked in a run in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, reached on an error in the 5th. Looking for his first hit on the day. He drops a bunt in front of home plate. Picked up by the pitcher. Josh Morgan fired to first, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Moving up to second base is Caleb Jenkins, so a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for South Sumter, but 2 quick outs. As Sebring's trying to get back to the dugouts, only trailing by 4 runs. Hard shot down the 3rd base line by Ishmael Rodriguez. That's going to put him on first base. And the runner on 3rd advancing to home as the throw gets away from the first baseman of Sebring. And that's going to plate a run for South Sumter. 16-11 our score now. Rodriguez is able to advance to second on the throwing error. That's a single, but then an advancement by Rodriguez, and we won't give him the RBI. The run just comes around to score. That brings up the top of the lineup, number 25, Rashad Johnson, who fouls the first pitch off. Sebring was 1 out away from getting out of this inning without any runs coming across, and then another error brings home a run. 16-11 our score now. This one gets behind the catcher. Moving up to 3rd base is Rodriguez. South Sumter 1 back away from their 17th run. Next pitch is outside. This one hit foul by Johnson as he's mad he missed that pitch. Other teams are starting to show up around us as the game time for our next game is scheduled for 2 o'clock, but we're probably going to have to push it back a little bit due to this elongated game. Our next game will be between Mariana and Spring Hill American. One too high for Johnson. Been playing for about 2 hours here in this game. We started at 11:45. It's now almost 1:40. Got a long game here between South Sumter and Sebring. As that strikeout will end the inning. Going down is Johnson. South Sumter plates 1 run, though, to help bolster their lead a little bit. Sebring will need 5 to tie, 6 to win as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Leading off will be Nate Arnon for Sebring. And when we come back, we'll see if Sebring can pull off the comeback here in Mariana. You're watching Dixie Youth Baseball AAA Traditional Division here on JockJive.com.
The Sportsmanship Award is one of the most coveted awards to be won at this Dixie Youth Baseball Tournament. Sportsmanship is playing hard to win, but realizing all cannot become winners. It is being a gracious loser and even more a gracious winner. Good sportsmanship involves such matters as fair play, keen rivalry, but careful observance of the rules, courtesy, and a generous attitude toward an opponent. To be considered for an award for sportsmanship, a team must, 1, demonstrate good conduct and positive attitude by all players and coaches, both on and off the field. Number 2, be prompt and participate in all scheduled activities throughout the tournament. 3, have fans that show good conduct and attitude toward umpires and opposing teams. And 4, be neat in appearance and dress of both team and coaches at all times. We ask all in attendance here at this Dixie Youth Tournament join the coaches and players in making these qualifications the rule of behavior while attending these tournament games. Let's make this year a wonderful year of fun and great memories.
As we are back here for the bottom of the 6th, Sebring needs 5 to tie, 6 to win. They've done it once before. They scored 10 in the 3rd, so we know this offense is capable. Nate Arnon watches the 2 first pitches go outside for ball 1 and ball 2. Returning to the mound is Cale Scott as he looks to give South Sumter this first game win here on the mound. Two-0 pitch outside, ball 3. Sebring looks for a first batter base runner, but Arnon watches that pitch go for a strike. The count is now 3 balls, 1 strike. Three-one pitch, too high, ball 4. Leadoff batter on for Sebring as they look to back here in the bottom of the 6th. Stressful times for both sides as they look to win this first game. Sebring needs 5 to tie, 6 to win here in the decisive 6th inning. South Sumter just trying to hold them and take home the first day W. And bat now for Sebring is number 91, Cole Travers, the catcher. He on the first, reached on an error in the 3rd, walked in the 4th. He's yet to get a hit. On first base is Nate Arnon, who led off the inning with a walk. On the mound for South Sumter, Cale Scott just needs 3 outs to get himself and his team out of this inning. First pitch fouled back, heads up, and that one heads over to the Sebring, close to the Sebring fans, but no one gets hit. Battling at the plate is Cole Travers. Doesn't want to be the first out of this inning. Sebring, 3 outs to score 5 runs. If they score 6, they win. As we've been playing for 2 hours now in this Game 2 matchup between South Sumter and Sebring. This is a blooper out to right field. This one gets down. Runners at first and second for Sebring with no outs, as they are not going to go quietly in this one. Travers hits. That brings up Dalton Todd. He grounded out in the second, walked in the third, and grounded out in the fourth. This one hit to second base. South Sumter tries to turn 2, but it gets away from the second baseman. 1 run is going to score for Sebring, and runners at the corners. After the error by South Sumter keeps Sebring alive. Todd reaches on the air. Still no outs for South Sumter, as that brings up Josh Morgan. A run comes around to score. The score is South Sumter 16, Sebring 12. 4 runs away from tying this game now. Taking off for second base is Todd, and he gets there with no throw. As right now, Morgan represents the 15th run. If he can get on base, Sebring will bring the tying run to the plate. This one hit back up the middle, gets underneath of the glove of the second baseman for South Sumter. 2 runs come around to score for Sebring. That's a 2 RBI single for Josh Morgan, and the tying run is at the plate for Sebring with no outs. Advancing on the throw is Morgan, so he stands at second base. Chaz Waltman, who struck out twice but doubled in 2 runs in the third, now comes to the plate representing the tying run for Sebring, as South Sumter needs to get some outs here if they want to win Game 1. What a game between these two teams. Strike 1 into Waltman. As South Sumter looked like they were going to run away with it. They were up 9-0 and headed into the bottom of the third. Sebring responds with 10 runs. This one popped into left field. The play made out in left field for the first out. Big South Sumter. Waltman flies out. Now Nelson Morales represents the tying run. On the throw in, advancing to third is Morgan, and he takes it safely. His run really doesn't matter, though. He represents the 15th run. The run at the plate is what matters. We're so proud of you, South Sumter. Hold'em, Pam, and Porter, Conrad Porter watching from Florida. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that lake because there is no chance I will get it right. Number 26, Nelson Morales at the plate now, with one of his teammates standing at third. 1 out, bottom 6. Sebring has already brought 3 runs across in this bottom of the 6th inning. They need 2 more to tie 3 more to win. Actually, this isn't Morales. It's going to be Jamarcus Gomes batting in Morales' spot. My apologies. Just saw the number on the back of his jersey there. So Gomes is at the plate for Sebring. And he fouls one back. Both of these fan bases on the edge of their seats watching what it's been a really exciting game between these two teams. South Sumter plated 4 in the first, 5 in the third, 6 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. Sebring plated 10 in the third, 1 in the fifth, and so far have brought 3 around to score in this inning. We'll have one more game to be played on this field as Gomes goes down swinging. Sebring down to their final out. At the plate now, number 9, Chase Vaughn represents the tying run with 2 outs. Runner at third base is Josh Morgan. Vaughn is 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles and a walk. This one hit down the right field line. I can't see if the play's made or not, but it's going to be foul. No one can make the catch over there. That's the first strike on Vaughn. Sebring needs some 2-out magic. They need 2 to tie and 3 to win. They have 1 on base. The tying run stands at the plate. This one gets behind the plate. Hustling for home is Josh Morgan, and he comes in safely. That's the 15th run for Sebring, and they're 1 run away from tying this one up. Chase Vaughn. Count is 1-1 on him. Next pitch outside for a ball. And we're going to have a conversation on the mound with the South Sumter pitcher, as Sebring has come all the way back again, and they're 1 run away from tying this game in the bottom of the 6th. The same in the 9th, or in the 3rd rather, where they scored 10 runs to take a lead when they were down 9-0. Then South Sumter answered again with 6 in the 5th and 1 in the 6th, but now Sebring battling them back in this decisive bottom of the 6th inning. Swinging through that pitch with a big swing is Chase Vaughn. Sebring needs 1 run to tie it. South Sumter needs 1 out to win it. This one too low into Vaughn. Vaughn is 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles, and he walked in the 3rd inning. Part of that 10-run 3rd inning for Sebring. This one hit to the left side of the infield. It gets through for a single. The tying run is on base for Sebring. The winning run coming to the plate, and it's going to be the top of the order for Benny Bakar. Another single for Vaughn. He moves to 3 for 3 on the day. Bakar now getting his 5th plate appearance as the chance of Benny come out from the right side of our infield from the Sebring fans. Benny struck out in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, flew out in the 3rd, and singled in the 5th. He got 2 at-bats in that 10-run 3rd inning. tying run stands on first base with Chase Vaughn. Go-ahead run at the plate with Benny Bakar. Bakar chops this one over to the right side of the infield, and it's going to be caught out there by South Sumter's first baseman. That's number 44, Jay Straughter, and he brings it down for the final out. Sebring comes oh so close to beating South Sumter, but they fall by a score of 16-15 in 6 innings. South Sumter keeps battling throughout the whole game. Every run that Sebring made at them, they were able to fight off. And the score, your final here, is South Sumter 16, Sebring 15. South Sumter will go on to face Holmes County tomorrow in your winner's bracket game. Sebring will face West Volusia in your elimination loser's bracket game. That Sebring-West Volusia game will take place at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And the Holmes County South Sumter game will take place at 12:30. What a game between these two teams, 16-15, your final. South Sumter winning over Sebring. We got one more game today. It's going to be a little bit delayed. We'll probably start, I would say, around 2:30 in that game between the host, Mariana, the home team, and Spring Hill American. We hope you join us for that one. I'm Anthony Crum with JockJive.com. Have a good rest of your day.